Everybody's staring for days. All they see is just a young, pretty face. But I'm trying to get to know you much better. Don't matter how much time it will take. But there's something you're trying to hide.
Hello, everyone. I am Adriana Bernabel, and today we have a very special guest with us. Not only is she a journalist, TV host, and a content creator, you may have seen her on Fox, NBC, Viacom, Revolt, and so much more. It's none other than Miss Kami Simmons. How are you?
Good. How are you doing today?
I'm so good. Thank you so much for joining me on such an important topic that we're about to dive into. Can't wait. So let's get started. When did you know you wanted to enter into the field of entertainment media?
I come from a theater arts background, so I always knew I wanted to be in some type of entertainment space. And so I would say it was probably around the age of 7 or 10. I used to, have shows that I would do with my twin sister, who's also on television. And we would tape record shows at my grandma's house. And we had little Barbie cameras. This was when like camcord was a thing with VHRs and all of that. And so we would tape record different shows in the back of my grandma's house. And it was through that where I realized I like to entertain people. I like to inspire people. And so, yes, I would say when I was like 10, like 7 years old, around that time.
Right. That's awesome. So you have a twin sister. That's so cool. So you guys got to experience that together.
We did. Yeah. And she's actually a producer in television as well. She's based in New York. I'm in Texas, but we did end up in the same industry. So.
Oh, double trouble. So growing up, were you at all influenced by people in the game? Like, were there certain significant members that you looked up to?
Oh yeah, there was a lot of folks. Of course, Oprah Winfrey was always a favorite of mine. So yeah, Oprah Winfrey would definitely be a top one. Barbara Walters. So I take little bits and pieces of different journalists and different TV personalities, and kind of make it my own.
I love that 100%, and especially some big names too, like them. There's none that compare. So when speaking on representation in entertainment media, it's crazy to think that the first person of color in entertainment media was Mr. Jack L. Cooper. He was a disc jockey on the radio in the 1920s, and we have come a long way from then. What ways do you feel we have advanced in the field? And for a two-parter, how do you feel like we have to still advance?
It's interesting that you even brought up about disc jockeys because I feel like we're in the informational age even now with like television and the digital world and what's going on YouTube and folks creating content for Instagram. So in a way, I feel like we're kind of in a transformational age right now, kind of like when we were transitioning from radio into television. So I feel like we've advanced where we still have the fundamentals of journalism when it comes to asking questions and, stating the right facts, credibility, all of that. But I think that you could be a little bit more expressive. Or, I mean, I wouldn't say more expressive, but for me, I come from a non-traditional background. So I come from a theater arts background. And then I eventually went to go get my, journalism degree. But for me, I'm bringing a different flair, a different vibe, a different energy to journalism. So I think now, as we're progressing forward, the world of journalism and entertainment and media is open to folks who don't come from a traditional background. It's open to folks expressing themselves. And also informing and inspiring people. But for me, I knew that getting in the industry was going to be, it needed to be able to touch other people's lives. And for me, that's how we progress forward. So, and that's how we continue to press forward. I think being open to whatever that may look like and not looking at the traditional way of doing things is definitely going to help us continue to move forward in this industry.
100%. I agree with that. And we're going to speak about the elephant in the room, right? What's going on currently, COVID. Taking COVID into perspective for a second, do you think that the industry will be able to go back to its quote unquote normal, or will some changes and advancements be made in order to alter the way content is consumed?
Well, yeah, with COVID, I think it's definitely opened up creativity. It's definitely opened up a space for folks to not be limited to just the old ways. I think eventually, yes, we are going to be able to see each other in person, do our red carpets or in-person interviews. But like what we're doing right now with Zoom, I think that that's definitely going to be a part of this formula of like content creation, which I think is so amazing because it not only opens up more possibilities here in the United States, but also the world. Like the world is at our fingertips, and we're not limited to just folks who are just in our own communities or our own like United States, but like we can interview folks who are around the world. So I think in that way, it's going to change how we, capture those different stories or interview different folks. But it's still going to be, I would like to see people in person, not going to be limiting in that way, and I think that that's amazing. And I love that COVID, yes, it has had its downsides when it comes to creating content as someone in this field, but I'm always moved by challenges. And I think with COVID, that allows us to be challenged in our creativity and push ourselves even more in the content that we create. So,
Yes.
yeah, I'm looking forward to the future. I'm looking forward to just seeing how media and television and journalism looks in the future, and onward and upwards, as I would say.
I absolutely love that perspective because it really does separate the two groups of people who are just down in the dumps and feel like, oh, I'm waiting for things to open up, making that excuse, versus those who are trying to make a way during the ashes of COVID and taking that and making a beautiful thing out of it. So it reminds me of back in the day, like we're talking about urban radio and urban media. Well, the Black and brown community during the time of civil rights movement, they actually made their own platform in order to get the word out and the message out to their people so they could come out to the protest, but they had to do it in code. So what better way than to do it on the airways in order, like it's so interesting, like just researching all the way like behind this, because we're still doing it. We're still informing our people about what's going on in the world, especially in the time that it is right now with Black Lives Matter and everything. So it's crazy to see everything come full circle, 100%. So thank you so much for this. I just want to know, where can the beautiful people find you and follow you on your journey?
Well, you could definitely follow me on my Instagram, which is at Kami Simmons, and it's underscore KAMI_SIMMONS. That's the same on my Twitter. And then you can also follow my YouTube channel, which is where I create lifestyle, inspirational content. And I kind of give people behind the scenes on the work that I do as a TV and media host and reporter. And so that page is Kami Simmons TV. And you can see all the cool content that I do over there, which that consists of a lot of like the passion projects that I do. So yeah, you can follow me on Instagram, YouTube, and also Facebook, but mainly YouTube and Instagram.
The mains. Got it. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day. Peace.